Welcome, listeners, to the depths we go, where mysteries lie and theories grow. With Tyson and Mike and Tor to lead, we dive into the earth and what it might breed. Welcome to the Full-Grown Pizza Podcast, where conspiracies stir and legends outlast. Cryptids and secrets, our journey is vast. Today we explore, is the earth hollow or mass? So gather round as we uncover the lore. Through hidden worlds we'll search and explore. This is the podcast where we reveal the mysteries beneath what's fantasy, what's real.
All right. Welcome to the Full-Grown Pizza Podcast, episode 21. Thanks for joining the stream. Make sure to hit the like, follow, and subscribe button. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of an echo. Not anymore. Okay. And yeah, today's episode is going to be on the HollowEarth. So Tori's going to be taking us through that, and ready to get going whenever you are.
Another echo? There you go.
Oh. I had it there for a second, yeah.
Yeah.
Just random echo feature. Yep.
No, it's me, YouTube.
I know.
Let me do the screen.
All right. Oh, that's a fancy looking bottle or coat can.
No, there's nothing. Nothing there.
Okay. Nothing.
Not sponsored.
Okay. All right. HollowEarth theory.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
All right. It's a theory that the Earth is hollow. All right. Good night, guys.
Wow.
Thanks for joining.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's it.
He doesn't mean anything, or
Yeah,
there's nothing else tied to it, or
That's
no,
the
like
theory. That's the theory at all.
it's
Okay,
just,
so it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's a theory that the Earth is hollow. That it's like either basically you want to think of it like cheese. Imagine that the Earth is cheese, and we have the wax. You know, the cheese with the wax around it.
Uh-huh.
That is the surface, and inside you have the cheese. But in Hollow Earth theory, it's Swiss cheese inside.
Well,
So there's like cavities.
that would make sense because the moon's made out of cheese. So
Yeah.
obviously, like, it would make sense that the Earth would be too.
Yeah, we're
because,
crusted over cheese. Yes, obviously.
Yep. So, okay.
That's like one Hollow Earth theory. The other one is like the whole entire center is hollow or something like that. Mostly it's like, when I think about it, it's basically the Swiss cheese thing with like those theories of tunnels and caves in it.
Yeah. So
So
there's
that's
like
the Hollow
deep
Earth.
like tunnels that kind of go to the center of the Earth, sort of,
Mhm.
from all over the crust of the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that's where like most of the theories are coming from. That's basically where are these tunnels to the Hollow Earth?
Yeah.
A lot of people think they're in the poles, North Pole,
Like the North and
Antarctica.
South Pole.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's get into some theories. I'm gonna pull up my chat GPT because they remember stuff
Okay.
I don't.
Do you want me to go to the pictures right now?
Yes, this
Yep.
one first picture is AI.
Wow, what? What do you mean? I thought it was photographic. I thought National Geographic got
Yes,
that.
This is an actual real proof picture, painted concept of Hollow Earth.
Wow.
This is supposed to be a picture of Argatha, which is supposed to be a highly advanced civilization under the earth. And it's basically like where like they have advanced technology and they're like a peaceful society and stuff. From what I've seen, a lot of toxic reports, this sounds like the home capital, not the home capital, one of the cities of the Nords or the Swedes, what do we call it? The Blondes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's people talking about like we're talking about him later, but this is what they're like. That's one of the technological cities. Agartha.
Yeah.
Okay. And people believe that Argata has been talked about like in like Buddhist and Hindu text. And there's a place called Shambhala. Anybody remember? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Shambhala is supposed to be hidden away in the mountains, the Andy Mountain, not the Andy Mountain. What's the
An
mountain?
anti-mountain. It's like a mountain with a
You mean
big
the
sign.
Himalayas?
The
Anti-mountain.
Himalayas. The Andes Mountains are in South America, and they do also potentially have a Hollow Earth entrance. But they believe that Shambhala is like an actual entry point into Hollow Earth. And it's also considered that Shambhala is the capital city of Hollow Earth.
Is that the second picture you sent me too? I can put that up.
Yes. Yes.
So this is Shambhala. This makes me, when I first see this, it gives me like Christmas Village vibes. Like I imagine that if this is like not where you said it was and like at the poles, like the North Pole or something, I imagine that all the Christmas elves come from here.
Well, technically, if it's Hollow Earth theory is true, that is where Santa Claus
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
He's in one
So
of these.
so Santa Claus would technically be one of the blondes.
Santa Claus is probably one of the blondes, like one of the oldest blondes, because he's gone gray.
Yeah.
And with his advanced technology, he can fly around.
Oh
and he
my
delivers
god.
peaceful planet,
Yes.
peaceful
He
presents
uses his
everywhere.
technology as a force for good on the planet Earth.
You
Wow.
heard it here, guys. Santa Claus
Santa
does
Claus
exist.
does exist.
Lives in the North Pole, and he lives in Hollow Earth,
He lives in the
and
Hollow
he
Earth.
lives in
Yep.
Shalaba, and he's basically
He's an alien.
he's
Just-
a Hindu monk.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just a very charitable alien that decided to use his technology. He created a folklore like legend and everything. It's awesome.
Now, one thing that I saw that was very interesting to me is like they're talking about these in the like the Hindu and the Buddhist texts. They're talking about these underground cities like this and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and they're talking about Naga people living there, which
Naga
are
people.
snake people
Oh,
we
just
were
like the World
talked
of
about
Warcraft
before.
ones. Yeah.
called lizard people.
Whoa, so the lizard people
And-
come from there too.
Yes, because we had this theory before in our audio podcast before,
Yeah.
where we talked about that the lizard people live in Hollow Earth,
Right.
and the fucking this Voodoo and Hindu text talks about fucking Naga living in Hollow Earth, and basically, what if you saw a fucking lizard person, and you knew about like the religion of like or myth of Naga, you'd probably assume it was a Naga.
Well, yeah, because what else are you going to explain it with? Like, that's your
Yeah.
folklore, that's your understanding of the world. And if you see that, this is before the lizard people have fully integrated themselves into our society as our politicians and whatnot.
And this is like before they like started crossbreeding with the humans to make hybrids that could infiltrate the structure.
Mm.
So lizard people are actually snake people, and the ones that have lizard features are actually the crossbreeding.
That would
potential
make
that-
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense because then they would have got their limbs and stuff as a humanoid feature because they mated with the humans, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah. Dang, it's all coming together. Wow.
Yes,
That's amazing. Okay. I like this Christmas village. I think it looks beautiful. It's really pretty.
yeah.
Even though it's
It's like-
stone, it's like stone, but they look like Christmas trees. Rocky
It's like a
Christmas trees.
Tibetan temple, but yeah,
yeah.
it was Tibet for Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I just want like a little angel on the top of that big structure and in the middle there.
It's not a Christmas tree; it's one of their temples.
we need a motion graphic for Santa to just like ho 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 fly across the thing. In the...
Honestly, now you say it, I can see Santa walking around that village.
Yeah, totally. Man, I
Those
would
are
visit that
workshops,
village.
guys. Those are all workshops.
Honestly, though, the other thing that I thought of when I was looking at this picture is because last week we were talking about Atlantis and we were talking about orichalcum and how that's kind of like a reddish gold like material and stuff, and how we were thinking that maybe there's a bunch of it at the center, you know, of the Hollow Earth and whatnot. And when I saw these lights and everything, it made me think of like that reddish gold glow and like here's all the orichalcum being harvested or being utilized in this society.
See,
And
like the thing that they say about Hollow Earth is like people like you say Hollow Earth, people think like the whole center is fucking hollow,
uh-huh.
but it's just basically like no, it's like fucking maybe a couple thousand miles down is hollow,
Yeah.
but the rest is like what they say it is. It's just like the Earth is really thick crust,
Yeah.
but there's also big Swiss cheese in there, and there's people like using these holes and stuff for advanced tech to make their cities and stuff. And the Earth's core actually works as like a artificial sun for them, so they can actually live down there.
Right. Well, and then if you think about it too, like if it's just tunnels, right, that are
Mhm.
leading to these more open pockets of space, it's very likely that if there's, intelligent life, going down these tunnels, that they carved out space or at least more space for them. They might have found some open space and then said, well, we need some more room. Let's carve out some more space so we can build out our civilization or whatever, right? Like it doesn't have to mean that the whole Earth is hollow, like you're saying. They only need a little
Yeah.
bit of space, and they can work from there. So,
Yeah. All right. What's the next picture?
so like we got some. This was the German Nazi base at the North Pole or something.
Don't say the N word. We're on YouTube.
Oh.
Fucking flag us for that shit.
Oh well.
So
Anyways.
these are German soldiers who are part of a kind of a racist party during World War II that I won't talk about.
Yeah.
But anyways, it said that their leader, whose name lines with Smittler, he believed in the Hollow Earth, and he had a secret expedition down to find entrance in Antarctica.
Yeah.
So they started establishing bases down in Antarctica, looking for entries into the Hollow Earth during World War II.
Wow.
It's also said that after World War II, they kept on going there, and that right now there is a modern day Fourth Reich down there
Really?
in their bases.
Whoa, that's scary. Like, could you imagine? Okay, this is gonna sound weird. This is gonna sound dumb, but this is what just came to my mind. Have you guys seen the movie The Incredibles?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Remember at the end of the Incredibles movie when those mole people just like come out of the ground and they're like, we're here to take over the world. Like that's basically what I imagine. I imagine all the people who work for Smittler and that party. I imagine that one day they're all just gonna emerge from the ground and be like, we're ready to take over the world. Like,
You ever seen that show, Finding Smittler? That was a great show. I like that show.
no, well, I've seen some clips of it and stuff, but I want to actually watch more of it because I saw an interview with.
So much. This is like it's like almost like yeah. I think he's in Argentina.
Yeah, it's really kind of sketchy stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be honest. Man, I just gotta say before we continue, to make sure to hit the like, follow, and subscribe button because it takes a lot of energy and resources and everything to come up and to hire the photographers to get these images, and like we really put in a lot of effort into getting
Yes.
all these pictures. So.
You had to get a photographer who could travel into time.
Yeah, one who had to go. Look, you gotta fund the time machine. The energy bill goes way up through the roof. You gotta pay.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for the photographer. He's gotta have a good stomach because time
Thing is, he
travel
took
makes
the
you like.
picture, but we didn't feel it was detailed enough, so he had to repaint it from memory with higher detail.
Yeah, we have to gloss over it to make it look better because cameras don't work as well back in the day. That's why they didn't have advanced camera technology back then because it just didn't
This
work as good.
all cost us $50. So if 10 of you could buy us a coffee, that'd be great.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm joking, but yeah, I thought it was fun. Okay.
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 Next picture. This is easy because I just go by the slides and just talk about what the slide's about.
PowerPoint presentation. Okay. And
This is
then...
a PowerPoint presentation on Hollow
Yeah.
Earth.
I actually
All
really
right.
like this though. I like all the pictures.
This one is very funny because it did that last picture for me fine, but then I'm like, okay, now do them discovering UFOs, and AI did not want to do it at all. It's like,
Really?
no, I can't do that. I can't. It's like,
Wow.
and I'm like, Just do a German soldiers fighting stuff. Like, nope, I can't do that. Can't do German
Wow.
soldiers fighting UFOs in Antarctica because it's like, what the hell? And I said, this is all fictional. And it's like, still can't do it. I'm like, fine, then just do
Really?
you World War II soldiers doing it. So I did that, which are obviously World War One fucking soldiers.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
they're
they
also
don't quite
American.
Yeah.
But it was said that they also when they actually found the entrance to HollowEarth and they found UFOs. And
Huh.
that's what this is about. There's like alien they found
Like
So
near
yes,
the
that-
tunnels or in the tunnels or like what?
they lived in the tunnels. The aliens were
they-
living
okay.
in the tunnels.
Yeah, they're using it as a base down there.
That would make sense because a lot of the UFOs that you hear about are those tic tac shaped ones. And I can imagine a tic tac shaped, vehicle is gonna go down a tunnel much better than say like a disc or whatever. But I guess it just depends on the
Yeah.
size, but
Oh
If
man.
you have that technology, you should be able to find hollow places within the earth that you could, go.
oh, I'm sure they've got
Yeah,
scanners, they've got like things that
Exactly.
radar that like knows exactly where it's at. And that could also that could
If
also
they find a cave, they could make their own with that stuff,
right, maybe they make the tunnels. Yeah.
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 Or even this could explain why these UFOs disappear so quickly, because they know where these spots are. Maybe there's some kind of cloaking
One of the
mechanism.
theories is that these entrances that are down in the North and South Pole is the reason why so many UFOs are spotted in the locations down there. Because
That would
this
make
is an
sense.
entrance.
Yep.
This is also an airport. Could it be an airport? Most likely. Is there a dark pyramid in there? I
Most likely.
bet there is.
Most likely.
There's
Probably
definitely.
one of the biggest ones, because nobody's down
Yeah,
there.
nobody's
Like, getting
there.
away.
You don't have to cover it up as much,
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And no one's going to be suspicious of like some crazy energy source or like whatever, radiation or electromagnetic like field or whatever,
I mean,
You're not going to be
and
as
not to,
suspicious
like,
about that in Antarctica.
Shit on fucking what should we call them besides the N word?
Just
Uh,
World War II German soldiers. There you go.
Yeah.
And not to shit on German scientists of the times, but this is also their why they got advanced technology so fast and came up with jet engines.
It makes sense. I mean, if they are out there
Jet engines
finding
were
this stuff,
World War II, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, that would make sense. They did have lots of their scientists were onto some
They had
crazy
some crazy
stuff.
technology going
Yeah.
on there.
There
You
was
see that giant gun they made? That's fucking goblin shit. I told you, we're
They're-
fucking goblins.
I know. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy because and then like that goes back to what we were talking about in one of our previous episodes of how what Schmittler and that group like their ideal human and what they looked like and what kind of they looked like the blondes and stuff
It's
like
the
that.
blondes.
Yeah.
They ran into the blondes, and that's why he thought the
Yeah.
ideal human is them.
Yeah.
Like
That's
maybe we have it backwards, like in like the fantasy setting where goblins are living in the caves and stuff.
Mhm.
It's the humans that are living in the caves, and the goblins are on the surface, fucking running around, and we're the
Right.
fucking goblins,
Yep.
and the fucking blondes are the humans with their high advanced technology. And there's like what?
I know. Well, and then I know. Like, what do you think? So, I can't remember what we talked about in that other episode. Where, like, how did they come into contact with the blondes, and why were the blondes like assumingly working with them? Like, did we?
Because they had that UFO crash in the Black Forest.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Prior to the war, that's when the first UFO recoveries they had, and that's where they met the blondes. The blondes came and give us back our
And
stuff.
that probably
Yeah,
gave
yeah,
them the idea to go to Antarctica.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably like
I mean-
we're from Antarctica,
Exactly.
or we're from the South Pole, so like okay, we're gonna launch the thing there.
Maybe they found like an injured one, and they started asking them questions. Like, we won't heal you unless you. tell us
Yeah,
where
that's
you're from."
possible too. They could have been. Although
I mean,
you
they
would
were-
think that if Schmittler was so into them that maybe he wouldn't be that, mean to them. But I don't know.
Well, they weren't known for their bedside manners, so.
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
wonder, because we did talk about, like, the blondes now are seen as very, like, hippy-dippy and lovey and, like, you know, no war and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean they were always like that. And it doesn't mean that all of them were always like that either. Like,
maybe that's why, because they interceded
that's
with
what
people, and then
that's what I
the
wonder.
big war happened. They're like,
You
we
also
can't
have
do
to
that
say,
anymore.
you're assuming that they gave them the technology and it wasn't taken from them
Yeah.
by
That's
the
possible.
German party, who
Yeah.
is known for being fucking monsters.
Yes. It's
So,
possible.
yeah.
But then if you're going to idealize a race of what they assumed probably were like the ultimate human, then I question whether or not they would, you know, attack
Alright,
them.
so
and
they
stuff,
find these
but-
guys, these blonde blue hair guys
Yep.
with highly advanced technology. And they're like, these guys sort of look like Germans. So maybe
hmm
we're a descendant from them. And we need to be pure fucking blonde hair, blue eyes to be just like them
Yeah.
and advance ourselves in our fucking race.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean, they saw like this idealistic version of themselves or whatever, and they're like, okay, we need to be exactly like them if we want to have all the stuff that they have. And then they, you know, expanded upon that and said, well, if you're not like that, then you're dead to us. That's where the blondes were like, okay, hold on a second. Like, it's not what we mean.
All right, next slide.
Okay. Wow. Look at that. Wow, look at these people, dude. Man,
Oh, yeah,
our photographer is
aliens.
really putting in some work. Like, he found all these guys, and
Yeah,
I'm really impressed. We should...
those
should
are the alien races living in
buy him
HollowEarth
a
in
donut.
harmony.
Yep.
I don't know if those are statues or those are
Yeah.
just giant guys that's hanging out. I
Yeah.
don't know why everything's mushroom shaped.
I don't know, but I do kind of think... I do imagine there's going to be, like, lots of mushrooms and stuff down there, right? There's got to be. Do you think they're going to... What's their food
Well,
source?
plants don't really like glow that. Well, there's the theory of the inner sun,
Yeah.
so it might be plants
that's
that
true.
go with that and stuff. But there's like more mushrooms and stuff.
And these could be...
Yeah,
I don't know, but
that's
mushrooms
probably
feed off of other
penguins.
things, too. So,
Probably
like...
eat penguins. Lots of penguins down there.
Could you imagine? I mean, there's a lot of penguins out in the Antarctic and stuff, so obviously, just
I wonder
go
what
get
deep
them.
fried penguin tastes like.
You know what?
Probably tastes
Okay,
like fish and chips.
so I saw there was this comedian, and he had a bit on like evolution. He was talking about he's like, yeah, I mean, I like evolution, but then I wonder, like, how come the penguins haven't evolved? Because, like, they spend all their life wandering around in the frozen, like, wasteland. They don't even have knees. Like, they can't, like, walking is really horrible for them, and their wings don't work, and they just fall over and slide into the water and stuff. And he was, like, making all these references to penguins and stuff and how miserable their life
Penguins
is.
have knees. They're just way up in their body. It's like when
Well,
you put your shirt over your knees.
They waddle.
and you're crouched
yeah.
down and they walk around like that.
But they like waddle
really
around.
fucking
They
cold.
don't. Exactly. I know that's the point. Like, they're really freezing cold all the time. Their life sucks, and all they do is they walk like 80 miles, you know, around the Antarctic, and then.
Well, they're kind of
anyways.
stuck there.
But
guess.
I know, and it makes me think, like, if you know that's been their existence for all this time. Maybe the reason they haven't truly adapted to that and like developed some, like, you know, obvious thing to make their life better. Maybe the reason is because the aliens keep eating them, you know?
Yeah.
So they can't really adapt to the frozen wasteland because
Also, they're like
the aliens are taking them out.
they're like the only ones there. There's nothing to adapt to.
Yeah,
like-
that's true.
We surviving, so we're fine. We
Yeah.
don't need to like change anything. We don't need to run faster because there's a
They're
new predator.
they're still reproducing and everything, and
Yeah.
they're still, like, you know, everything's working out fine for them as far
Yeah.
as evolution's concerned. Yeah.
They just got to a point. They're like, I guess this works. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know, they're just content. They're like, it sucks, but it's a, you know,
I got fish. I got babies. I guess I'm good.
it's like, it's hard work, but it's good work. We're all right.
Don't they like when they feel like they're gonna die, they just walk into the middle of the Antarctica?
I think
Just
so.
fucking-
I think they just
Yeah.
walk off like when they're gonna
Yeah.
die. It's like a cat that just goes off and hides when it's injured or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's sad. But
Just like, guess I'll die now. and
I
just walk
guess
off.
this is like my movie moment of like walking off into the sunset, except there's no sun and there's no anything. It's just winter wasteland. Oh my god.
Just get to a point where it's like this is so fucking cold. There's like,
They're
fuck
like,
this.
I'm done.
Like that orc that we trained.
Yeah, exactly. You just they're like,
done.
I'm done. Oh man.
I don't know if Michael heard that story.
I don't know. Tell it. You tell it real quick.
No, we're
Our-
not gonna tell it.
Wait, no, our audience doesn't know it. It's a funny story.
No, because
Okay.
That's for
Okay.
gaming.
Okay.
we told it during our fucking streaming. For it's more at home there. You guys want to hear or follow us on fucking one of our Twitches, and we'll tell it again to say tell us the fucking.
Oh yeah,
orc
we've
training
told
story.
that on Twitch all the time. Yeah.
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 All right, so yeah, that's
okay.
a picture. Aliens.
So
they
aliens
in
live
HollowEarth.
down there. They love penguins. They've got penguin
Yeah.
buffets. We talked
That's
about.
doing the. I don't know if it's doing them good because they're pretty skinny, but
Oh,
they're
I-
also big.
I love this picture, by the way. This is great.
They make the Men in Black
Alright.
look cool.
I
It's like
know.
I kind of want to be
I
a Men in
like
Black
how
now.
I like how they all have beanies. They're all sitting in the same office and they're trying to conceal themselves from each other. Like it's like what the heck, dude?
I like how they all look like the same guy.
Yeah, for real. It's the same.
Beanies and sunglasses. Like the fedora's
Beanies.
out, beanies are
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, exactly. They're like fedoras were so like the 1950s.
And honestly, I
1940s.
totally dig the look. I'm like, yeah,
And
all right.
yeah.
I'd rock that for a work outfit. Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Oh my god, that's
But
funny.
like, yeah, this is basically saying that like the government is covering up about the information about HollowEarth because they feel like it's like going to like scare people and put them in a panic. Plus, they want to maintain control. So yeah,
Yeah. What do you think? Like, okay, sorry, say that again. I'm spacing out. We were talking about.
the government is
yeah.
censoring information about HollowEarth. That's all it is
Why do you think they'd be doing that? Just
to maintain
because.
control. Because
Also, look at
HollowEarth,
these lights. These light fixtures look like they're raining down almost. Like
I
it's-
have a very simple answer for why they would cover up HollowEarth.
Okay.
It's 2 words: Dark Pyramid.
That's a really good reason, actually. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
We said how powerful the Dark Pyramid is, and why do you want to keep it from anybody?
Well, because we like think about this when we were saying that there's most likely a dark pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle, and we know how that impacts aircrafts, and we know how that impacts people, and that it's causing all sorts of crazy stuff to happen. It would make perfect sense to have one in Antarctica or where people can't, easily go to, because it's not going to cause many problems. There's not going to be all sorts of like mysteries and things that need to be figured out and all that stuff. So it would be the perfect place to conceal one because you don't have to worry about it. Also, there's tons of snow, so you almost don't even have to put it underground. You could just have it up with all the mountains, the mountainous things, and it'll be covered by snow and nobody will even know that it's not a mountain.
Like
Yeah.
most of the theories from this comes from the pictures of like satellites. If you ever look at pictures from Antarctica, they're highly censored.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah. I
They,
mean,
like,
it would make
block out
sense.
so much of the stuff.
It would make sense.
But like
yeah.
in like what is it? What's the opposite of a fucking conspiracy theorist?
A fact, a researcher,
Fact checker?
fact checker. I don't know.
No. It's if you don't believe in something.
Oh,
Skeptics?
a skeptic. Yeah,
Yes.
skeptic.
From a skeptic point of view, it's just basically, we have a lot of fucking bases down there, and some of them are military, so we got to cover it up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right.
Well, but then you.
Dark pyramids down there.
I
too.
just assume like the Men in Black is the interstellar governmental agency, and they're connected with our government, and then they're like, all right, we need to kind of keep, keep things on the down low here, and just keep monitor this area and whatnot. So
Like the story that I like to point back to is it's like their most recent one is like the aliens inside the Miami Mall,
oh, yep.
which we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
How like there's like giant aliens, which is funny because they said they were giant, right? Like
Yeah,
12 feet
that's
tall.
what they said. Yeah.
There's a story about somebody going to like I think it's the North Pole or something, or South Pole, but they like run into people that are about 12 feet tall, and they're like in the Antarctica, but it's like really like it has a lot of flora and fauna because it's like a little paradise stuff.
Yeah.
And it's warm, and they take them into HollowEarth. So these 12 feet tall people, 12-foot tall people, taking them into HollowEarth in one of the poles. And then we go to the Miami where they say they saw a 12-foot tall alien.
Yep.
And we said that if you take the coordinates of longitude and latitude and flip them from where they found in Miami, it's in the middle of Antarctica.
Hmm.
And they're saying that somebody got the coordinates backwards, and that's why they ended up in Miami when they wanted to go to Antarctica.
Wow.
So, yeah, these tall fucking aliens. They said they're spotted.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, dude. Well, and then if Antarctica is just because obviously there's probably tunnels and stuff to the HollowEarth all over the planet, but if Antarctica is like the most easily accessible one, it comes right up to the surface or whatever. You don't have to go underwater or into the mountains or anything like that. Then obviously that could be like the main hub, the most easy access. That's why our government is there and not necessarily at these other ones that we know about. And that makes a lot of sense. Plus, it would make obviously the government would have a vested interest in trying to keep that stuff on the down low because that would kind of blow the cover on everything. Like that would expose everything. So
especially if there's races of aliens there, like the lizard men and the blondes.
Yep.
Maybe there's some other races there too. If it's a major like hub,
Right.
Especially if they could put a huge black pyramid, dark pyramid there.
Yeah.
Make it a
well, and then just imagine like if the people found out about, let's say, a black pyramid energy source, or they found out about orichalcum being some kind of magical metal or whatever, like. Just imagine how the general public would react to that. They'd be like, "You've had this stuff all this time, and you've held it,
Oh yeah,
you've kept it
free
from
energy for how many years that we could have been going without this?
We could have energized the whole planet.
All you want to do is make money. You could have done. We could have had so much energy for free, and
all the third world countries that don't have like good water and like energy, they're burning like dung just to get some heat and like energy and stuff. Like those countries and like the humanitarian crisis that would erupt from finding out that we have unlimited energy here and we're using it, that aliens are utilizing it rather than the inhabitants of our planet. Like that'd be some wild stuff.
Fuel would be like worthless, so how much people would lose so much money,
people's businesses would go under.
That leads credence to why they would cover it up, because it would lead to World War III. Like,
it absolutely would. It absolutely
it'd be like
would.
the lower class eating the upper class, or trying to.
And it makes sense because you almost have to keep that hidden, because if you're
too far into it now.
If it gets exposed, then every country is going to be out for themselves, and they're going to say, as soon as you start giving it to one, another one's going to say, why aren't you giving it to us? And why don't we have, it's like, dude, it takes time to build these black pyramids and to like get everything set up, and your engineers don't know how it works, and we got to like teach everybody these things, and it's going to take time. And then you're going to have, one country A is going to say, well, you're working on it with country B, but not us, and we're gonna nuke you if you don't do this.
Problem.
Yep, and I
have to wait for like the aliens to reveal themselves and reveal the technology. They gotta let the aliens do it, and they gotta be able to do it all simultaneously.
I think a good thing to think about. Go ahead.
They're like secretly building dark pyramids everywhere, and they're just gonna unveil them all at once. They're like.
I wonder if we need to reach a point scientifically where our
Vegas
scientists
is out in the open. It's just the fucking.
it's the
pyramid right
Luxor
there.
or whatever it's called. Yeah, exactly. They're like, we'll put a hotel in it
Yeah.
for now. It's like not
It's like, we'll
operational
get
at
the
the
Luxor.
moment.
It'll be very popular. And then
Yeah.
we'll start opening it all over the little places. And people are like, "Oh, it's just another Luxor hotel." And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it didn't work.
They're like, dang, that didn't really work out too well. No, but it makes me think that maybe there are things that we just don't understand about physics and about reality and about engineering and all that stuff that they can't just give us the technology because we won't know how to operate it. We won't know how to, maintain it. We won't know how to any of that stuff. So we almost need to reach a certain point in our scientific understanding of the world and of the universe to be able to utilize this technology on our own. So maybe they are laying the groundwork. Maybe they are kind of building these black pyramids and building these things and they're laying the foundation for us. And then when we get to a point where we are ready to be a part of the interstellar coalition of planets and
Have
alien...
you ever heard of Michio Kaku? He tells about like the tiers, like a tier 1 takes care, like uses fossil fuels, and like tier 2 does higher energy sources. But until you get to that tier 2, they won't introduce you to dark pyramids, or you have interstellar travel or stuff like that. So we're just waiting for our technology to catch up, and probably have to have a certain amount of peace on the earth too. You can't be having wars and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
We need to be at a place
you don't
where
want a war race into your confederation.
Right.
Yeah, like we said, we haven't unlocked that skill tree yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But then once we get to that level, they're going to say, okay, here's we're going to cut the ribbon and say, welcome to the, interstellar coalition, and your planet's already been set up for interstellar travel and energy and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about energy and food resources. Now your goal is to go out into the universe and farm as much orichalcum as you can for whatever. Once we have nothing else to worry about, that's kind of the thing. Like, as society develops and the less problems that we have that are like fundamental problems, like our shelter and our food and all that stuff, we start to develop more mental problems and create problems for ourselves, because that's what we do. We're problem solvers, so we need problems to solve. But I think we reach a point where we've kind of solved a lot of the food and water problems, at least in like first world countries and things like that. But then once we have solved the energy problem, and once we've solved like all of that, then what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And I think we're going to need some kind of purpose. We're going to be longing for something, and the aliens are going to come in and they're going to say, okay, we've got that for you. Now here's the new grand adventure for civilization, and we can all jump on board to that. Maybe Elon Musk is part of this too. I don't know.
So when we unlock that tech tree, we get a new quest.
Yep, we get new quests. It's a new expansion on the game.
DLC.
Yeah, DLC content. Okay. Should we go to the next picture?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Oh yeah, who's this guy? This was Admiral Byrd or something, I think. That you had that was the name on your thingy.
Yes, Admiral Richard E. Boyd.
Boyd.
He's a Boyd.
He's a
It's probably
Boyd.
Bird. I like to say Boyd. He was a U.S. Navy officer, obviously, because he's an admiral.
Mm-hmm.
And he was he led an expedition from to the North and South Poles. And it was said that it was like exploratory missions. It had a fucking name. It was funny because
High jump.
High jump, yes. Operation High Jump. So I told you fucking already knew this dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like
A lot of
Operation
dumb
High
shit.
Jump was to like look for all these to explore these things. But people believe that it was actually he was out to find these German soldier bases to get rid of them. Because basically he had like 16 ships with him, so and a whole bunch of planes and stuff. It's like, why do you need all that for exploring?
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyways, it is said that like he kept a journal, and or his diary, and like it said that one of his diary entries, like one of his secret diary entries, said that he was flying over, I believe it was Antarctica, and he found an entrance, and he said that these UFOs came out and they escorted him down into the HollowEarth.
Wow.
Where he met with some blondes, and they told him, "Hey, guess what? Nuclear stuff is bad."
Mm.
They did their blonde thing to him.
And
But
they gave him a toy.
They gave him a toy.
Santa Claus.
Oh yeah,
Here's
Santa was there.
Yeah. Here's a Happy Meal with a little
Like, here you
penguin
go.
nuggets.
You've been a very good boy this year.
Yeah.
You want Barbie? You can.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the thing that like people like is like there's no like really documentation of his secret diary. It's like, why would you want to document your diary anyways?
Wait,
But-
could you imagine if McDonald's had made their way down there and they had penguin nuggets that they're serving and stuff? Oh.
Probably delicious.
Oh my god.
Oh, it tastes great. That's sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, that would be great. Here's your Happy Meal. By the way, nuclear war's bad. All right, thanks for
Maybe
visiting.
It's a knockoff McDonald's. It's
Yeah.
McDowell's.
Exactly. Oh my god. Okay.
Or the Kentucky Fried Penguin.
Yeah, exactly.
KFP.
AFP.
Anyways,
Oh shit.
people like say this because he's been like quoted as saying that I forgot. Let me find it. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
this
Michael,
is-
tell him something about about Boyd.
Oh, well, one other thing about high jump is that they had a lot of UFO encounters while they're doing the whole thing.
Mhm.
Like when they're heading down to Antarctica, like they didn't tell everybody where they're just supposed to be exploring, but they said they got like dive bombed by a bunch of UFOs, like they were trying to keep them away from them. So maybe
Oh.
there's like two separate, they had the blondes that were peaceful, and then they had like the Schmittler regime that was not so peaceful, and they wanted to keep them away. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of UFO encounters, and they said that there was one craft that was running around and it was like a sonic boom, but no sonic boom was so fast, So they had a lot of encounters with UFOs during that whole trip, which was kind of strange. So
Yeah.
and I guess they had a lot of encounters with USOs too. So the submersible UFOs.
Oh yeah.
Mhm,
Yep, submersible ones. Yeah.
So it was a
Yeah.
pretty interesting thing. And then they, like Tori said, they went and they did a flyover in Antarctica and saw tunnels and stuff like that. So
I think the Hollow Earth theory makes a lot of sense because there's got to be somewhere that these UFOs are coming from. When they emerge from the ocean and stuff, like they got to go somewhere, right? I don't know. I would think. And so it would make sense if they go into, unless they're, underwater species or aquatic species or something, but it would make sense that they kept going into an open area into the earth that, wasn't water.
especially if they could make their own tunnels and their own caves,
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
they
we're
said
not
this
going to
one-
find that anytime soon. We're like not
Yeah,
even
you're not
close to
gonna-
getting to the deepest
I
parts
mean,
of
we're
the
finding
ocean.
caves all the time now. I mean, they
Yeah.
found like that one. You heard about that one thing in China? They found it's like a man-made cave that was huge, and it was all carved out by people. And then they flooded it, and they just barely found it. And it was created like 2,000 years ago.
It's
They
like
just
the
found it, like,
world's
5 years ago.
largest cave not being discovered till the 1900 or 1990s,
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000s. Where
Or
was
like,
that?
I mean, they say the Mammoth Cave is 400 miles, so that's a pretty big cave.
Yes, they said the Mammoth Cave is also possibly a fucking entrance to Hollow Earth.
I mean, if you find a large cave like Mammoth Cave, and you're like, oh, we could make it a little bit bigger. We got the technology. Let's make some more tunnels. Then maybe put a force field that looks like a cave wall, so the people don't come around here. Maybe if you got the technology to make man-made caves or alien-made caves, why
Mhm.
couldn't you put a force field up or like a camouflage up or something like that? To keep them away from it.
Well, it's the perfect cover up, They basically get to operate and do everything here on the planet without us even knowing about it.
Especially if they have
So-
teleportation knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
They
mean, you don't
fast
have to go
travel
through the-
between your dark
Yeah.
planets.
You have I'm going to say with that orichalcum, it is like a receptor. It can take energy and it can also help with teleportation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you hide a bunch of people in a cave? You could.
Yeah, of course. Yep. And if
and
you had
know aliens have great camouflage technology, but they fly all around and people can't even. Have you ever seen those videos where they see like a cloud and it turns into a UFO and it goes back into a cloud? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I often think that when like I see a cloud that's like suspiciously out of nowhere, like just like by itself, I'm like, that's probably an alien shit.
I know, that's what I think
about
too.
That doesn't
Yeah.
move too much, you know?
Yeah.
Or when the cloud just stay in the one place for too long, you're like, why isn't that cloud moving?
Yeah.
Or it's moving a little too fast. Like that house moving really fast.
Yeah. That's what
or
I
it moves
think
really
too.
fast and it keeps the same shape, and you're like, yeah, that's not
Or
right.
it's moving against the wind. It's like the wind's going that way, but that cloud's going this way.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's like a glitch in the Matrix too, you know, like why isn't that cloud going
that cloud's bugged out. We gotta replace
Anyways,
that cloud.
the thing I was looking for wasn't actually a quote, it's just basically what he says. Basically said that he's often been quoting to saying that warning the US that they should prepare for a possible attack from the polar regions. And that's why people think like he's found Hollow Earth there, because why would you need to fucking protect yourself from attacks from the polar areas? Now, as the skeptic community is saying, well, that's because it's like unfucking monitored area. I mean, if you fucking
it'd be a great place to attack.
If you ever play like an RTS and you like get your army like ready to attack, you like
have
move
like
as close
an ambush
as you can.
area.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and that makes me right from the skeptic perspective. If we have evidence or at least reason to believe that the German soldiers from World War II were, had people there and had bases set up there, then it would make sense if you were an American admiral to be like, all I know is that they're set up there, they're doing something, we got to be prepared. And I think it would make sense, even if it had nothing to do with the blondes. But that, and the other thing is, you got to imagine if you're this guy and you show up at the end, you're flying over, and then you get escorted down by aliens, and the aliens start talking to you about stuff. You're not going to understand what the heck's going on, right? Like, as far as your mental capacity and like that situation, your brain is going to be like, this is all weird. You're going to be basically in shock. You're not going to remember a whole lot, I don't think, from that. What he might have taken from it, though, is nuclear war bad, because that's something that makes sense to him. That's something that he can understand. But him being like aliens and all, what the people living in the earth and all that, like what the heck, like, that's all going to be foreign to this kind of guy. But nuclear war bad, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
kind of like mom bad, nuclear war bad.
Yeah.
It bad. All right, next slide.
There we go. This is beautiful.
Also, he had 13 ships.
This is like non-Christmas season with just regular.
That's because that's Atlantis.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, I like the theory. I like the idea that that Atlantis wasn't just like destroyed or whatever, but I liked the idea that it was just pulled down into the earth because it was too troublesome.
Well, if you're the theory that the orichalcum is what uses for teleportation, and the city was like lined with it, no reason that the whole city just teleported into fucking the inner city.
Don't get rid of it. Just move it. Yep, exactly.
You don't want to get rid of all that orichalcum.
Yeah, definitely not. But they needed an excuse to, get rid of the people there, so they probably pulled it under, washed away the evidence with a tsunami or something, and boom, there you go.
Well, one thing that I want to say about this is, people think like inside the earth is like horrible, it's like dark and cold and no air and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But they have plants and whatever. But the thing is, like, I've been into like, I don't remember what the cavern was called. But it's like, it was like you go into an elevator and it takes you like all the way down. It's like, let me look this up real quick. Michael, tell me more stories. I gotta look up this.
The Carlsbad, is that what you're talking about?
The what?
Did we go to Carlsbad that one time? Is that what you're talking about? Carlsbad Caverns?
Is that the one up in Arizona?
It's in New Mexico, I think.
You
might have went without me then.
Yeah, I don't think you were there.
So another thing about that Atlantis, a lot of people say that could have been just like a big, giant floating ship that was just like they made it look like. I mean, it's like a city-type ship that just floated there, and then when they got what they needed, they just got rid of all the people and then teleported down to HollowEarth.
Yeah.
Maybe they're preparing HollowEarth at the same time that they're mining the orichalcum. They're like, all right, we got the place already. Let's go ahead and go down there and get rid of all these people that we don't need anymore.
Yeah.
So go down into the water, wash them all away, teleport down to the giant cave, and we're good. I wonder if they found a lot of orichalcum down there,
Well, that might have been the thing too, is that if Atlantis, or at least that area, that region, had a lot of orichalcum that they were mining, at a certain point you have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So maybe they get to a point where they're like, okay, we've depleted the nodes, the orichalcum nodes that are closer to the surface. We now need to go deeper to get to the rest of it. Let's start, start Operation Bring Atlantis down, into the HollowEarth. And then from the HollowEarth, you could technically mine upward, I guess, huh? And you've probably mined all you can from the surface. Now you wash it all away, you cover up your evidence, you go down below, then you mine from below and go up from there. I mean, it would make sense, and it gives you more and more cover, because you're not going to know. They might not necessarily know where all the orichalcum, is on the planet. They just know it's somewhere, and so you got to start figuring out where it is somewhere, and you would start at the surface, right? And then so they found it, they established Atlantis, and then they started digging down, and they're like, okay, now here's our spot, or at least one of the spots. Did you find what you were looking for, Tor?
Yes, but I also found that we have people in the chat, or somebody in the chat talking.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though.
Okay.
They're gone.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Don't respond to them, though, I guess.
No. Well, I didn't, I had my OBS up and not my YouTube
Anyways,
chat.
it's like, it was the Grand Canyon Caverns, and it like the elevator takes you like 200 feet down.
Mm-hmm.
And inside the cavern, it is nice. It's nice and cool. And there's actually like air going into it because it's actually linked to like they found out that it was linked to the Grand Canyon because they like put like a smoke thing and they saw it leaking out into the Grand Canyon. That was like several miles away. But it's like really nice in there. It's cool. And that's what I'm saying is like the Earth is heating up, and then you got the inside the HollowEarth. It's like nice and cool and climate controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like airflow, you're breathing fine and stuff.
Yep.
And there's a lot of food down there because it doesn't perish because there's like no real bacteria down there either.
The other thing to think about too is if the orichalcum or the dark pyramid or whatever can be used as an energy source, I assume that would be a very clean energy source, so you're not going to have air pollution or anything under there, so the air quality that you're going to have too is probably going to be very clean, and it's going to last you a while.
I mean, everything that describes these places underground always describes it as a utopia.
Yeah.
So you got to think like, it's climate control, and there has to be something that they're eating that's fucking supply of food. And the water has to be clean too, because there's like no real pollutants. Because it's like, if it gets down there, it's been filtered through the earth like so much.
Yeah. Exactly. And then if they do have like an artificial sun, or let's say the core of the earth it's warming enough or whatever that the plants and stuff can still grow and get photosynthesis or whatever, then it sounds like it does sound like utopia.
Also, they have advanced technology. They probably have neon lights down there.
That's true. I'm sure.
They probably have lights.
They are probably, well, and if they've got
that
like
energy
source,
endless
they
energy
can create. They
can make your own sun.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you got
you can have your own little ecosystem.
Sun,
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. No, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense. All right, next picture.
Next picture.
Whoa!
What is it? I didn't see.
Those aren't real. Just kidding.
This is totally real.
Those don't exist. I'm just kidding.
It's a theory that some species survived and they're living in the HollowEarth. This includes early man, cavemen, and stuff, which makes sense. They already started living in cave.
Of course, yeah, they were living in the caves.
Go further inside.
Yep.
And if you're like a caveman and you find fucking
if they survived
inner fucking sanctum with like warmth and plants and stuff, and
yep,
your food source still.
And it would make sense for the blondes to say, hey, there's some people just living up at the entrances of our caves. Let's bring them down here and have them help us out. You know?
Yeah.
They can be the ambassadors for when we do reach tier 2 and we're ready for all the technology. It's going to make the transition a lot smoother if you have our own people there being like, hey guys, look, we've been down there living with them for a long time, for generations and generations, and we've learned a lot from them. Trust us, it's cool, right?
Yeah, we get toys once a year.
Yeah, we get they got great Happy Meals. It's great, guys.
They got a KFP that's delicious.
The KFP.
They're bringing back the Double Down. It's fantastic.
It's like
with seal meat.
Guys, I swear, if you work with us,
you ever have seal bacon? It's fantastic.
If you trust us, we're gonna put KFPs all over the country. I promise. It's gonna be great.
Now this goes back to what I was saying before about how it's like have climate control and stuff, and like if you have an airflow and you have a sense of warmth, sometimes you'd be fine. This is basically saying like when the asteroid hit and the fucking cataclysm went off, because it says like when the asteroid hit, it set off like most of the volcanoes, which covered the earth in fucking ash and fucking just basically brought in the ice age that killed a bunch of dinosaurs. But then there's ones that fucking went into the caves with the cavemen and stuff. And that's why they're saying that there's probably dinosaurs that live in the caves that managed to escape the ice age and stuff. Then you have the other thing where like the mammoths, I don't know, I guess maybe.
No, I think it makes sense. I think another thing to think about too is if there are people down there in this kind of utopian environmental kind of, situation where they've got super clean air and water and everything, like think about how healthy these people are going to be too. Like they're probably going to be way healthier. They're not going to have brain fog.
Because there's not like that much bacteria at all either. Because bacteria doesn't survive down there.
You have to think like with all of our, like nowadays we have all these processed foods and we've got air pollution, we've got light pollution, we've got all sorts of stuff that's like impacting us on a different level. Like we've got all sorts of mental disorders and things that have gone way, way up and, since the Industrial Revolution and everything. So it's like there's so many environmental factors that impact us on a day-to-day basis that we don't even necessarily think about, that these people probably don't have to deal with at all because they have the perfect environment. I mean, they've got... everything is perfect down there. Clean air, clean water, clean food.
There is a theory that once we started farming and went away from our hunter-gatherer ways, that's when stuff started fucking going downhill.
Yeah, I mean it's like taking it's like taking a different path or going down a different talent tree. Like you're gonna get better in certain things, but everything else is gonna get worse. It's like the idea of when books and stuff started coming into the picture, a lot of people were critical of that because they were like, no, we can't write everything down because then we're not going to remember it, because we're just going to resort to having to read it. And so
it's basically like
that's true.
Right. Like nobody uses their self-navigation system anymore because they got their phone. You don't even know how to get to across town anymore. You put it on your maps and have the phone direct you.
I think it's like you take like a wild animal like the boar, the wild pig, and you compare it to this domesticated one. It's just fucking, there's so much wrong with the domesticated one where the wild boar is fucking like just thriving and surviving and stuff. And that's basically what happened to us is basically we're not wild anymore. We're domesticated. And so all these fucking problems started developing.
Well, and it goes back to that whole idea of, once you solve your fundamental survival problems, then we have to create other problems for us to solve. So
our brain is built to solve problems, and we gotta make our own if we have fucking.
Which is a double-edged sword. I mean, we create, all sorts of like market-related problems and innovation problems and things like that, which leads to a lot of growth and innovation and more technology, which is good. But then you also have the other side where people get complacent and they struggle finding their purpose in life, And so
take small problems and blow them way out of proportion and make them seem big,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's crazy stuff. But I think that I like the idea of the Blondes taking people down with them. They probably took the Atlanteans down with them. And then they probably took down, these other cavemen and whatnot with them too. And they're like, look, one day we're going to need you guys to communicate everything to the land dwellers, to help transition between, tier 1 and tier 2, so we can get these guys on board, because it's just going to be easier for them to communicate with people that look like them and to communicate with people that, are the same species and stuff. So I think that that's a good idea. I think it makes sense.
It's going to be much more believable coming from another human than from some alien.
Right. They're going to trust that human more than they're going to trust the alien species. So, and where else are you going to get a human? I mean, unless humans develop, unless this is like the natural evolutionary like experience on other planets as well, and they all develop kind of humanoid-ish, people. But it makes more sense to use their own people. All right, next picture. What this?
I don't know. It's not coming up yet. That's the underworld.
Oh yeah.
That's Hades, I guess it's called. But they said like this is like proof that like there are more proof that HollowEarth exists because of like biblical stories of I don't remember what it's
the
called.
Underworld and everything.
Sheol. I don't know what that is, but I know what the underworld is. I know what the Greek underworld is, and fucking Nilheim from Norse mythology.
Yeah.
So they're saying that like this is like shows that like people knew about HollowEarth because they're saying that you can actually get to the underworld. There's actually an entrance to the underworld. You go down this fucking tunnel, you cross this river, and you're in the HollowEarth. You're in the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what basically what that thing is. That's what their theory is. That like even the Bible and ancient Greek lore and Norse lore was talking about the underworld because
it's interesting because the Mayans had the same thing. They thought the underworld was like caves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
They had that like that's why they threw people into a pit because they're sacrificing to the underworld.
Yeah. I think. No, it would make sense. And so they had reason to believe that there's something down there. There's at least intelligent life down there. And whether it's the gods or, demons or whatever. But
Maya's talking about like a society underneath the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they said like where the city of gold is under Earth too. It's in the HollowEarth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the city of gold is Orichalcum.
Maybe that's the interest of the Andes is the city of gold,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, that's about all that, but basically it's just a cool picture for a little tiny paragraph. Let's continue on.
Yep. Here we go. This looks like the core of the Earth.
This is the inner sun theory. That the Earth core, or the Earth's core is like an inner sun, or that there's like an inner sun. That's what keeps the plants alive. That's what heats up the center of the Earth. That's what lets people live in HollowEarth.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's cool. The deeper you go, the warmer it gets.
It never moves. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want to get too close to that thing.
Yeah, probably not. It's probably you don't want to melt your s'mores on that thing.
Yeah. That's probably what the Lake of Fire is, fucking right underneath that fucking shit.
Yeah, probably.
It's like everything melts into like it's just like a puddle of fucking.
Yeah, at some point it's just magma all over the place.
Yeah,
I bet. Yeah. But you could take heat and convert that into energy. You can take heat energy, convert that into electrical energy or whatever to power your lights, to give your your UV lights to give your plants their photosynthesis and everything that they need. So
yeah, or so you have like plants that develop to eat the fucking heat from that sun.
Or yeah, exactly. They develop to absorb heat energy rather than the
That's basically where they get their
radiation.
vitamin D from, because we know people need vitamin D to survive.
Yep. Here it is. Here's the map.
Yes. This is supposed to be like the first image or something, but yes, this is what AI says when I said make a map of HollowEarth, and they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
you got Atlantis, you got the Inner Sun, you got the other place.
The lost city of Loomis.
Yep.
Maybe misspelled it horribly.
Yep.
But like, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like the Swiss cheese, they got these holes and they're filled with like these cities, and I guess they all have their like own power core to fucking heat them up and provide them with the vitamin D and everything they need to survive and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you've
You guys
got
ever
enough...
play that game of Frostpunk? That's what it reminds me of.
Oh my god, I loved that game so much. That was so
Mm-hmm.
fun. Beating that game was so cool. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
I had to be a tyrant.
yeah, I was on the verge of like losing all my people or like dying or something, and I was so close. I was on the final wave or the final phase or whatever, and I just barely won it, and I was like, oh my god. It was so cool. I streamed it too back in the day, and like I had like one person in the chat, he was like, oh my god, good job. And I was like, yeah. It was so cool. Yeah, it was fun.
Someone witnessed it.
Yeah.
But
All right.
that is HollowEarth theory for you guys.
That was cool. That was a fun one. I like all our AI.
We actually talked for
images.
66 minutes just about it.
Yep.
We don't have to do any filler.
Yep, that was a good
All
one.
right, bye. No, it's...
Yeah, see ya. No, thanks for checking out the episode. This was 21. So next week, tune in next week to find out what we talk about next and how it's going to tie in with Dark Pyramids. And
we didn't mention Joe Rogan. Somebody mentioned Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah. Has Joe Rogan ever talked about Dark Pyramid stuff?
No. I
Not
think
that
it's
you
talking
know.
about HollowEarth then.
Yeah.
Has he ever talked
probably.
about eating penguins?
Penguin KFP? Yeah.
He's a big hunter. Everybody's hunting penguin.
Yeah.
No.
He talked about the German party before. Joe Rogan definitely talked about the German party.
Yeah,
before.
I actually did mention, I think, Joe Rogan a little bit because I was talking about, well, I actually didn't go into it, but I saw an interview with the guy who did Finding Schmittler and on his podcast, I think, and it was actually really interesting for him to like go through stuff and all that. Like, it was cool.
Okay, I think we got it.
Yep.
We can put him in the hashtag now.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys, and Flume, who's in the chat. Sorry we missed you. You were chatting, and then totally didn't see it. So apologize.
He wants to see a scissor, so I don't know.
That's why I didn't respond after like
everything was fine until that point. Just like, dudes.
Yeah. I know. I missed the previous chats, but then I saw that, and I was like, and I'm not going to respond to that. So. I'm not going to acknowledge that. So anyways, thanks for tuning in and checking out the episode. We will be live next week with something else. So make sure to hit the like, follow, and subscribe button and check the notification bell so you get the notification for when we go live.
I like how you brought up the N-word. It's like, no, I wasn't talking about that word.
Yeah.
It's like about the other one.
Yeah. Maybe he came in at the wrong time.
These people.
Yeah.
Well, how do I describe them? It's the N-word. It's like, no, the German party, the bad one.
Oh my god, I didn't even put that together if that's how you said that, but that's fun. We were talking about the German soldiers from World War II, obviously. So, okay, yeah, that was a fun episode. I like how everything's coming together. I'm really excited for our conspiracy Bible to come out, on episode 100 when we tie everything together.
We have to rewatch all our episodes so you know what we're talking about.
I know. Well, no, what we'll do is we'll just
gotta hire somebody else.
We'll have AI just like analyze each video and take all the connections to Dark Pyramids and like put it all together.
By that time, there will be an AI that's like, "Hey, you want us to do a clip show of your whole entire series?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay, we're going to end it there. Again, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like, follow, and subscribe button and then notification bell so you catch us when we go live next week around
Watch
3
me on
p.m.
Twitch on Skeletor84.
Yep, Skeletor84 on Twitch.
We will be playing Fallout 4, the London mod. And try to make it a horror game.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. All right, I'll have to watch that too. Sounds good. Alrighty, well, we'll see you guys. End it there.
Bye.